So I'd been away from home for about a month. Some of you all know why. But when I came home, I knew that I was going to have a lot of maintenance to do because someone was feeding my fish, but nobody was doing water changes or anything. So I came back, I had a lot of work to do. And pretty much all of my planted tanks, they were overgrown. And I did a before and after video of each and they came out like crap. So I'm just going to do a update on all the tanks rather than that. But so this is a 36-gallon bow front that I have. As you can see, the shrimp are just going absolutely nuts. Marvin can eat as many as he or she wants, and he's not putting a dent in the middle. I mean, look at it. It almost looks like an ant colony. There's just so many of them. You know what? I'm fine with it. I like it. I like having the shrimps. As far as, I don't think anything died in this tank. Everything still seems to be fine. The red laser tetras are still there. Marvin obviously doing well. Even the lone purple Hollercoin rasbora that I have left over is still doing fine, and the Luminatus are all doing well. One thing about this tank I can't stand is it doesn't matter how much of a water change I do and how often, it's always cloudy. And I do clean out the filters. I have a sponge filter there, hang on the back over there with the intake sponge, clean all this stuff off. Doesn't matter, still stays dirty. It's my little indoor pond. It has Micas mundans and dwarf chain loaches in it. This is going to be going away pretty soon because I got them something else they're going to go in. That video will be up later after it's done. But it shouldn't take me too long because I'm just going to move all the substrate and the sponge filters over to the new setup. And so there'll be plenty of beneficial bacteria. But the Micas splendens, they've done well. When I bought them, I had, I think it was 6, and now there's probably about 40. So they're doing well. Got the single 20-gallon. I did have one of the rosy barbs die while I was gone. Don't know where the body went. There's no fish jerky, but there's only 4 of them left, and some of the Xenotoka eyes and I are gone too. Most notably, the 2 big males that I had. So that sucks. I have quite a few females in here. I'm not sure if any of them are pregnant anymore, but this tank is also going to go away somewhat soon. I didn't do much maintenance on this one. I just pulled out some of the red root floaters and got a bunch of the mulm off of the bottom. But other than that, I didn't really do much to it because I know it's going to go away pretty soon. 150 is still coming along. Still waiting on this larger piece of driftwood to stay down, so that way I can finally move these rocks into place. And once I do have these pieces down, I'll probably put some like ferns or something, maybe bulbitis, or I don't know. I'd like to have a little bit of something plant-wise in here. Everyone here still doing well. All 6 long ears are still doing fine. It's Hank right there. Hank put on a little bit of pounds, Hank put on a little bit of weight, and his colors, all their colors are doing well, but I think Hank might be the only male in here. All the other ones in here, I don't know, they just look a little bit different, not just talking about size, but like shape. And then there are 2 Mad Toms in here, which I do see them when I come in after the lights go out. But as soon as they see me, they usually run, so I'll have to come around the backside over there and look through the side to see them. But if I come in through the regular door, bedroom door, they flip out and hide. Yeah, nothing super spectacular with this yet, besides the fish, because they're awesome. Last but not least, at home, I have the 75-gallon native tank. It's unheated as well. This one needed the most amount of maintenance because there was just, I don't know when I get started on all I had to do. It took a while, but I had to cut back on a lot of the Vallisneria because it developed a lot of blackbeard algae. A bunch of the sword leaves detached and died and were strewn about the bottom, so I had to get all that crap out. And yeah, I had to cut back some of the leaves that were on the Nubius over here and over there, 'cause they were kind of inundated with blackbeard algae. Surprisingly, the Rotala, the Ludwigia, and the Brazilian pennywort didn't go gangbusters. They're growing a little bit, but not by a whole lot. Blue spot sunfish, all three are still alive and kicking, doing well. You can see I have a trio of flagfish. There's two of them right there. I don't know what, the other one's up there. And blue spot just said, get out of my kitchen. And we got this one lone black-banded sunfish. I bought 4 originally. 1 didn't make it through quarantine, and the other 2 that are no longer visible, they just disappeared one day, so they're gone. I did put the orange throat darters in here. They're still kind of small, not really showing much in the way of color, but they do know the dinner bell now. They all get excited when it's feeding time. Oh, and one thing too, I forgot that I have an Aponigeton bulb back here, and yeah, now that it's warming up, it's sprouting. I saw those leaves and I thought, kind of weird looking for I thought they were coming off of this sword plant, and I'm like, no, those leaves are a lot longer than I remembered. Oh yeah, I have a Aponigeton in there. Hadn't seen it in a while, so that'll be nice once it finishes growing for the season. And I do have some guys in quarantine that will be going in here, and I'm expecting a shipment of some more guys that will be eventually going in here. Stay tuned for those. Here's my Office 40 breeder. This one took quite a bit too, because this is the only tank that I inject CO2 in, and so a lot of these plants kind of just went nuts, especially the Rotala. Pretty much all of this was up to the surface, and then some of the cuts that I made were about 16 inches. Yeah. And then the Bacopa back there, some of those were completely grown out of the surface too. I had to pull some of them out though, because some of them had some like just pretty bare stems or dead leaves on them. The Lobelia cardinalis, these guys are doing really well. I've already cut one back and planted the cutting. This one I'm probably gonna have to cut back and replant pretty soon. Everybody in here is doing well. I don't think there was a single fish loss. All the corridoras are still fine. The 2 rams are doing well. Well enough. They're bickering with each other right now. I'm not sure why. All the celebes are still here. All of the Rhagnocentris are still here. Oh, I did add a few more Autosynclus too, because I originally had 6 in here, but lately I'd only seen 2, so I got another 4, and when they went through quarantine and stuff, it did fine, so I put them in here. Anything else going on with this tank? Oh yeah, so as far as, speaking of the Rhagnocentris, all the fry that I had didn't make it, so yeah, that's really sad, so I'm having to start back over. And I did have 1 hatch lean yesterday. It's gonna take a while to get those guys back up. And here's the 20 long. Everything in here is pretty much the same as well. Got blue, still being blue. The Austral killifish are still doing well. one male, two females. See? And the Pseudomagogor trude, yeah, they're still kicking. I decided I wanted to try and spawn them again, so I put the mop in here. So I have a mop for reds and the mop for the Pseudomagills, although I'm pretty sure the killifish would lay in there as well. And do we get to see? No, we don't. Clown killifish. Sorry, the clown pleco likes to hang out down there, but don't see him now. As far as the maintenance goes on this, I just had to cut back on some of the lemnophylla and take out quite a bit of red root floaters. But other than that, nothing really changed on this tank. Everything's still doing well. And this 20 long is not in my office, but technically it's still mine. This is a different room. It's a classroom. I set this up over the summer because this room was the only room on the bottom floor of the science building that did not have any kind of tank in it. And a teacher who was in a different room in a different building who had a 10-gallon, she retired. So originally I put the 10-gallon in here, and then I realized, well, it looked kind of empty. It just looked so small, so I went and got the 20 long, and everything else in here is mine too. I mean, the tank, the lid, the stocking and everything. What you can see in here, what you see swimming around, those are blue neon rasboras. You might see a few dwarf emerald rasboras. Ones that are brave enough to come out. Don't really see them all that often. They like to hang out in the back. I was hoping that the blue neon rasboras would act as deerfish and have them all come out, but not so much. And the two sparkling grammies, you don't see them very often either. They like to hide. But we do have some shrimp in here as well. I got some yellows, some blues, blacks, and orange coals from Garden of Eder, and they're all doing well. See more yellows than anything, but we'll see an occasional blue, some oranges. They're doing all right. Gotta get this guy back down there. This little 10-gallon tank is also technically mine. Everything in here besides the fish. The fish was given to us by a student. It's a betta, a blue half moon. He likes hanging out down there. I swear he's alive. If I were to ring the dinner bell, he'd get quite active. Yeah, nothing really special about this tank. All there is just, I do need to get some, like a mono shrimp or something here to take care of the green hair algae. There was a green hair algae carpet when I first got here. I thought, oh, that looked kind of cool. And then I realized it was running up on the plants and the rocks and everything else. No, let's get rid of it. Yeah, there's just lemnophylla here. Yeah, that's the only plant. Or no, there's some red root floaters too, but they're not really growing so much. And that's it for my around the world